we see it. Check in, check. It's gonna be a welcome Wednesday, No Static Radio.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Big League Energy Radio Show. And you hear him in the background signing in. That's our guest, who we're going to get to in just a second. But there are a few things I want to run past you real quick. First of all, I'm your girl Decisive. I thought I was going to be filling in for a minute for Miss Big League Energy, but she finally popped on in. So we're going to let her check in just a second. But before we do that, of course, I got a few announcements, like one from the Trauma Recovery Center. And you know that if you, a family member or friend, has experienced life-shaking situations, succumb to violence and health issues, that it can affect all parts of your life, sometimes in ways you can't see. It can affect the way you eat, sleep, and cause you to lose focus, feel angry, afraid, or even use drugs or drinking as a way to escape. But listen, I'm here to tell you that violence doesn't have to keep hurting, and you can change your life starting now with help from the Trauma Recovery Center. We want you to take control of your life. Today can be the day. The Trauma Recovery Center offers real help for real needs in real time. They offer services for food, clothes, safety, emotional support, and a whole lot more. So listen, don't let violence control you. You can break free, and TRC can help. Give them a call. The number's on the screen, 216-644-5487. They will come to you wherever you are. They're free. They're 24/7 and confidential. So look, if you want out and don't know where to start, call the Trauma Recovery Center. The Trauma Recovery Center will help you take back your life after violence starting today. Call today and get the help you need today. Again, the number's on the screen, 216-644-5487. The Trauma Recovery Center of Northeast Ohio, also affiliated with the Center for Families and Children. And also every first and third Saturday of every single month from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We got free groceries and a whole lot more. This is a partnership between Major Care Ministries and the Cleveland Food Bank. They also serve free hot meals at 11 a.m. and a free clothes giveaway all week long for adults and children. So again, 6812 Woodland Avenue is the address from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. every first and third Saturday of every single month. And the best part about it all is not even what I told you. It's the fact that you don't need ID or proof of income. Just pull up and get what you need, and they're there for you. It's Major Care Ministries in the Cleveland Food Bank, 6812 Woodland Avenue, every first and third Saturday of every single month. Don't forget about the free hot meals at 11 a.m. and a free clothes giveaway all week long for adults and children. And finally, Greenwood District. The website is www.greenwooddist.com, where quality meets consciousness. They got a whole lot of dope apparel, and if you put in the code No Static Radio 10, you get 20% off or more. So make sure you check them out, www.greenwooddist, that's greenwooddist.com, where fashion meets quality. And with that being said, I think I've taken care of almost every. Oh, and more importantly, listen here. We know there's this thing going back and forth with the vaccines. I'm not here to tell you what to do, but I can tell you this much. It's important that you protect yourselves and protect your family. There are all things and all types of ways that we can protect ourselves from respiratory diseases. So please, wherever you're at, make sure that you wash your hands. Keep some type of hand sanitizer on you as well. They're a dime a dozen now, as low as 25 cents. So remember to wash your hands frequently, hit that dab and cover that cough or sneeze. Wash frequently, touch objects and surfaces, and do not touch your eyes, nose, or mouth out in public unless you can immediately wash your hands. And for all things coronavirus, please visit cdc.gov/COVID-19. This message is brought to you by the National Associations of Broadcasters and this station, NoStaticRadio.net, powered by Google, sponsored by Lamont Avenue Wines and the Cleveland Rugby League. Well, with that being said, you guys, like I told you earlier, I thought I was going to be doing this by myself. But she finally got a signal all the way out there in Akron. So I guess, I got to let her have this. But I just want to take a minute to introduce our wonderful guest. He's been here once before when I was up on that fourth floor. We talked about that before. But I'm here to introduce our wonderful guest. He is an entrepreneur. He is a consultant. He works in real estate. I'm going to let him finish telling you more about himself. But I would like to welcome back and introduce to you guys Tone Robinson. Welcome, Mr. Robinson.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming back. Prior to the show getting started, I was talking about my situation here, and of course I'm going to take those tidbits and run with them. But please tell us more about what you do to help businesses in and around Ohio.
Great question. So, our business, we've been in business for about 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
We incorporated this entity in 2010. And we primarily do a lot of things in the real estate space.
Okay.
Real estate is our primary focus, with also a focus on financial literacy. Our folks usually are the ones that are behind the eight ball when it comes to entrepreneurship, credit, and things of that nature. And so I really made it my mission and my life's work to work with people to be able to help them, change their financial trajectory. You asked about working with businesses.
Yes.
Primarily, we work with investors
Okay.
to be able to help them, really build their real estate portfolio, whether from 0 to 100 properties.
Yes.
And so whatever that looks like for each individual person, each individual investor, we're here to be of service. And so our business works with those individuals who are looking to get into the real estate market, and we help them in many different ways. And so we're happy to be here to talk about that and what we have coming up in the next few months.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So that includes doing stuff like flipping homes, right?
A little.
Sort of, kind of. Okay.
A little.
Okay.
So how many properties do you have in Cleveland or, the surrounding areas?
Good question. So our focus is not necessarily just Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, although I am from Cleveland. We travel. In this business, you got to have relationships, and relationships sometimes have you travel. And so we've got a pretty good radius where we cover about 70 miles in each direction outside of Cleveland. So that means Youngstown, that means Ashtabula, that means Akron, and some of those different areas. As far as management, we manage about 90 units right now, and we're growing. And so it's a good market, and Cleveland has been, the pandemic didn't hurt everybody. So if you have ears and eyes tuned into the marketplace, real estate was a great market to be in 2021 and really moving forward.
So that was going to be my question. Like, during the pandemic, how was there any damage done to the real estate world, or did it make home buying harder?
Follow the news. Real estate's up all over the country. In Cleveland, the real estate market is up about 15 to 20% over last year. So that means prices are increasing. That means people are still buying homes, investment properties, and things of that nature. So the real estate market has been a great market even throughout the pandemic. And it's going to be for quite some time.
So when you say you service over 90 units, is it just housing, or is there businesses like or a mix of both?
Good question. There are some commercial properties in there, some 4 units, some mixed use properties and things of that nature. But our focus is on residential, so we don't really get into the apartment complexes or the large condo communities where there's 100, 200 units. We're really working one-on-one with the individual owners or individual investors or team of investors to kind of help them, acquire new portfolios.
Okay.
And so how long have you been doing this,
Mr. I've been in business, like I mentioned, since 2010 as an incorporated entity, but I've been in the real estate market since 98. I bought my first property a week out of undergrad, and we've been buying ever since. And so real estate's always been good to us. And we taking that message on the road, out to the West Coast if we got to, out to those far destinations where folks are planning to come into Cleveland and spend those dollars here. It's a great market.
So
I'm sorry,
last time you were here,
I had cut you off.
it's okay.
I had cut you. So go ahead, baby.
Yeah, so the last time you were here, I was trying to figure out where I remembered you from. I remember that you said you had been doing real estate for an awful long time.
Sure.
I personally used to be a loan officer for Challenge Mortgage. I think that, we crossed paths and working with Daryl Hudson. Yeah.
Right on
in
Northfield,
the past.
Right?
Yep. 5311. Yeah.
Small world, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So that credit plays a major part in establishing home ownership.
Absolutely.
How do you help people with that?
So that's a great question. Can I see that book? So one of the ways that we have been able to help folks really be able to change their situation is I wrote my first book, and this is the second edition of the book, the Offensive Playbook. Really, the first third of this book really talks about nothing but credit and how to improve your credit, how to look at, let's take a look at, just for example, page 13. It's got the whole credit portfolio there for you.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole pie chart, how to have good credit, what makes up credit. There's really only 5 things that really make up your credit score. And so being able to master those 5 things is really what it ultimately takes to be able to have and maintain good credit.
Okay.
We learn more than 5 subjects in school.
Right.
But for some reason, when it comes to personal finance, we lag behind. And so that's the reason I wrote the book, to be able to give people something tangible that they can read and look at and take tangible steps to affect their situation.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome, because in our, I want to say in our culture, like that's not a given as far as education, and it should be. I see, and I'm grateful that a lot of people like you are stepping up, and of course there are some schools that are stepping into it, and showing children financial literacy, our kids financial literacy.
Right.
Yeah, not at all.
It's not taught, unfortunately, going through education and in college and things of that nature. We really understand, and then working in financial services, like you did, we understand that a lot of those folks that come in our doors aren't ready right away.
Right.
They need some help. They need some seasoning. And so it really behooves us to impart that information onto them, to get them in position to be buyers or sellers, or get the loan they want, or get the business they want. And so we really take the opportunity not to pass that off and say, hey, how can I pay the credit repair guy? Or how can I pay the credit repair agency? It's really looking at your own individual habits and making the decision and making a change to improve your situation.
Yeah, because that all kind of goes back to, when our neighborhoods, and we're starting to come out of that slump too, where our neighborhoods are being called poor neighborhoods when they're not. How can businesses flourish in poor neighborhoods? It's not that we have poor neighborhoods, we have poor spending habits. So that's what's,
Say that. So, that's you can bring up a great point. As a lifelong Cleveland native, who's been here for quite some time, I remember getting into the market in the mid-90s and looking at some of the pricing at that time, and I was just wondering, why in the hell isn't everybody buying real estate?
Right.
These properties, and these properties are $6,000, $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 now, forever. And it was amazing to me how a person would not want to take that particular asset. And use that to be able to change their own future or change their own housing situation. For us, we were running away from the hood.
I think that played what played a part in it was the responsibility after it's all.
It does.
Yeah.
She had a question.
Go ahead, Eileen.
What would be any good advice you could give us? Why is it important, that we own our property versus renting?
It's a great question. I can probably illustrate it better with numbers.
Okay.
Right? So I see it's kind of made a resurgence, the 10-year Facebook challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Everybody's doing the 10-year Facebook challenge again. That was out about 2 or 3 years ago. And they're showing their pictures and what it looks like they look like 10 years ago. About a year and a half ago, I put out a post and I said, how does renting hurt you? How does renting hurt you? So, most folks that are renters are lifelong renters.
Yes.
Right? So if you're paying about $500 a month, which is on the lower end, but $500 a month over 12 months is $6,000. Over 10 years, that's $60,000.
Yes.
So if you're 30 or 40 years old and you've been a renter for all that time, your landlord and his family thank you.
Yes.
Because you're essentially paying their mortgage,
Absolutely.
You're paying their expenses, and they're in abundance. So we're continuing the degradation of our own communities because we don't own where we live. If you don't have ownership in where you live, you don't have the pride in the community
or the control
businesses. And lastly, you don't have control because you're homeless.
Right.
You're essentially homeless if you're a renter.
Yes.
You can be moved or kicked out at any time.
Yeah.
And I thank my man Julian Gordon for that. But yeah, absolutely, you're homeless if you're a renter. And so really being able to kind of change what that looks like for each individual person is what I made my purpose in writing my books and having the financial literacy platform.
How do you dig? I'm going to dig a little deeper and talk about the effects of home ownership in the neighborhoods versus renting and the people that move in the neighborhoods. Like now more than ever, unfortunately, there's a shift in the neighborhoods. Like I myself am a homeowner, for over 20 years. I've noticed the change in the neighborhood. While there's still some type of home ownership happening, I see that some things are changing as far as renting. There's a lot of Section 8 renting, and it's scaring a lot of people away, because of the type of people that are coming in. Like, what do we do? Because I'm looking deeper into it on the side where I want to start showing people how to better take care of their properties in their neighborhoods, because the type of people that are moving in and into these Section 8 properties are destroying our neighborhoods.
There's a couple different ways you can look at that. So what you're talking about is commonly referred to as gentrification, right? Where you have folks coming into the neighborhood who are not from the neighborhood, but they live here, they now gain jobs here, they work here, and things of that nature. Or not. Mostly or not.
Yeah.
So what you have is really not gentrification. It's colonization. Okay. Because those are outsiders coming in. But that's spurned by the outside investors. Where all the money is coming into Cleveland is from outside investors who are really taking that West Coast money or that overseas money and bringing it to the Midwest value system, where values are a little lower. And so they're buying those properties, and for those owners, the best thing they're looking at is return on their investment. So the best way to hedge their bet is Section 8.
Yeah.
And so
guaranteed money.
Yeah. Absolutely. So if you're an owner, you're looking at the neighborhood changing because you're a homeowner, right? So the best thing you can do is gentrify your own block. Go and get those homes that are on next door to you. You guys go do some cleanup programs, clean up the yards, paint the outside of the house, clean the gutters.
We did that. We do.
Right.
I mean, the two properties that are on both sides of us now are rented out. I don't know if they purchased or they rent. Sure. I haven't bothered it, but we do that
so
much.
What you talked about just very briefly was a small scale. Your house and the house on either side of you. We're talking about the whole street, baby.
The whole street.
You need to do the whole street. Yeah. If you're talking about bringing up the neighborhood, bringing up the area, you got to gentrify that whole street, which means all the homeowners go knock on their doors, start a street club. Yeah. So things like that really kind of get you into your community to where you can gentrify your own street. We all know there are streets. A lot of streets in Cleveland where there's some burned up houses next to an abandoned house, next to a burned up house, next to a beautiful home. So it's really on us. Start talking and having conversations with your councilman about those abandoned buildings. Okay. Start trying to acquire those abandoned properties. There's a lot of money in those properties.
Mr. Robinson, why is the rent going up? Why is everybody's rent going up, skyrocketing like this?
Rent's going up because the purchase price is going up. Right. She just asked, how's the real estate market in Cleveland? It's up about 15 or 20%. So if housing prices go up, what you think rent going to be? It's got to follow suit. Inflation is going. Inflation 7%. They just announced this morning for last year. That's ridiculous. So what used to cost you $1 is now costing you 7 cents more than that. Right. And that ain't just taxes. That's real money.
Right.
And so it comes out of all of our budgets. And so primarily what I do with my business is we work with everyday folks to show them how to put money back into their monthly budget using real estate as the platform.
So, with you being a real estate investor, you're also a wealth builder and an educator. So could you elaborate more, because, that's a busy schedule, just not just being a real estater, but, teaching these classes and doing, I know you do quite a few seminars.
I do. We got a new one coming up in March. So I'm glad you mentioned that. So to answer your question, it takes quite a bit. So, education and information has a cost. When we graduate from high school, the prevailing thought is you got to go to college or trade school or community college or something, right? So we're in the habit of paying for information. Unfortunately, if it don't have university behind it, our folks don't want to write that check. I have a consulting company. You know who my biggest clients are? Not my people. Who do I want to help?
My people.
Right.
Yes.
My biggest clients are foreigners, investors, folks from other nationalities. They understand the value of the information that we're giving, and they don't have a problem paying for it.
Okay.
And so it's our folks that have, well, why is there so much? And why does it take so long? And nobody wants to do the hard work of working on their own credit. Right. They'd rather write the $500 check to fix my credit right now. That's about habits at the end of the day, and it's about information and education. So really, as long as we have the current paradigm that we have in terms of knowledge is last, we last.
Unfortunately.
So I was, I guess you somewhat answered my question before I
let me make sure I answered it in totality, Miss Lee, because this is the big energy show, and we want to bring all the energy today.
Yes, you understood the assignment.
I understood the assignment when I woke up this morning every day.
Thank you.
So you asked about the classes. You asked about real estate classes and helping folks. So March 19th, which is a Saturday, it's about 2 months away, I'm having a in-field real estate fundamentals training class. So we're going to be taking a bus tour all around the Cleveland neighborhoods. We're going to be doing property walkthroughs to give you an example of what it takes to put a property back together. We're going to have contractors on site so you can understand how pricing works and how much things cost. We're going to do tours of Home Depot so you can understand not just when you need one thing and where to go get it, but let's walk up and down each one of those aisles so you understand what most things typically cost in a home. So this training is going to be a one-day training. Wonderful. We're going to be doing a one-day training from 10 to 6 on March 19th, and we're going to be bringing a bus of folks all around Cleveland. It's going to be some folks from inside the city and outside the city, but the goal is the information. We're giving away the information on that day to really coach you up to understand what it takes to make money in real estate.
That's awesome. That is wonderful and so way past needed. Will you be advertising that event?
I'm good. Or selling tickets for it? Yeah. There are tickets. Yes. They're going to be on sale, yes. And then we will be advertising heavily on social and maybe your platform as well.
Okay, definitely.
I was doing some research on your page, and it was saying lessons people learn about credit too late in life. And, I see the stop using cash, the
good for you.
Don't overspend, which that is probably a lot of our problems, including myself. Sure. But you can travel for free.
Yes.
How explain that more? How can you travel for free? Because I want to get to my destinations.
Okay. So before I'm gonna challenge you. I'm gonna answer your question, but I'm gonna challenge you first. Instead of looking at ways to travel for free, let's look at ways to build assets for free.
Okay, I like that. I love that.
So if you think about real estate, right now there's a lot of first-time home buyer money that's called grant money that each bank gets from the Fed. And so between February 1st and about May or June, when the money runs out, there's a whole lot of free money available from the banks for first-time home buyers. These are grants that are available that you do not have to pay back. As long as you're a first-timer, you have to stay in the house for a certain period of time. But those grants are anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000. Wow. Okay, that's the first thing. Right. Second, if you're buying your home and you have the biggest hurdle to home ownership for most people is not credit, it's the down payment. And so if you're savvy, and we teach this in our program, you have the seller pay the closing costs for you. So now the bank is giving you $2,000 to $4,000 on your down payment. The seller is paying the closing costs. You just walked into an asset with no money down.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
can you do this with bad credit or not so good credit?
So listen, FHA, the Federal Housing Administration, that's the most used loan program for first-time home buyers. Primarily for two reasons. Number one, it's got a 3.5% or low percent of a down payment. Okay, so you only have to put down 3.5%. So on $100,000, it's $3,500 you have to put down. Now I just told you these first-time homebuyer grants are available. Every local bank has them. Fifth Third, Huntington, PNC, you name it, they've got it. They're a national lender. They get their money from the Fed. That money is there every year. So that's first. Second, if you are looking at trying to buy a home, FHA does not require a minimum credit score. Now, your lender may, but FHA does not. FHA will use what they call non-traditional credit to help you qualify. What's non-traditional credit? Most people have never heard of that. So that is your car insurance. That's things like your cell phone, things like your utility bills, your light, gas, telephone, cable, all those things. Those companies are able to provide you what's called a credit reference letter.
Yes.
Those letters can be then used, and the underwriter will consider that even if you have a zero credit score. So let's get out of the habit of saying, what can we do with bad credit, and just fix the bad credit.
Okay, so as far as fixing bad credit, now how does that work? Because it was like back in 2011.
Come get the book.
I
I
tried
got
to.
one for you already. It's already
Please
got your name on it. It's
mail
already
that
got your
to
name on
me.
it.
Thank you. Because I guess, this trying to fix my bad credit. I put some money down and nothing's happened. Like, I don't even know if they went and, did any work on my credit. So
I'm gonna bring you some good energy this morning. Good energy worldwide. We bringing energy this morning. You gotta stop.
Yeah.
Stop trying to write checks and fix problems. Money don't fix problems. Habits fix problems. Habits fix problems.
Okay? Now you talking to me, baby. Talk to me.
Habits fix problems. So listen, credit is all about habits, right? Your credit score is about your payment history over time. Your payment history is about the accounts you've had over time and how you've managed or how you've paid them. Ain't no quick fix for that. You can get some items removed off your credit, and that'll kind of get you jump started. But that ain't fixing your spending habits. When you get your money every 2 weeks or every week when you get paid, what are you spending that money on? If you own Amazon shopping, ain't nobody in America going to be able to fix your habits.
Right.
You got to fix them habits first. Home ownership is always going to be elusive if you got a $700 car payment.
Ooh, I got schooled this afternoon.
I told you we was gonna have an expensive conversation this morning. You missed a little bit of that intro. We have an extensive conversation this morning.
I'm definitely going to recap, rewatch this, because I have so many questions to ask.
Here's what we're gonna do. We can advance the conversation. We can advance the conversation. Okay, I didn't mean to talk over you, but we can advance the conversation. Go to my website. It's tonerobinson.com. TONE Robinson.com. Go to the Let's Talk tab or Let's Talk page. Put in your information there, and that'll allow you to have a free 30-minute consultation.
Okay.
I encourage all the listeners on the show to do that. Everybody listening on Instagram Live, go to the webpage, tonerobinson.com. Check out the Let's Talk page. Schedule a conversation with me. We'll have a 30 to 45-minute conversation where we can have a more in-depth conversation about your situation. And then I can give you some advice to kind of get you moving in the right direction. You can't have this online or on air, so we'll make sure we have it in private.
Because we don't have a lot of time, I hate to, jump from this because it's such a good topic, from home ownership to credit repair. You also, Speak Undertone talks about
at-risk youth.
At-risk use and business ownership.
Yes.
Which a lot of the melanated community doesn't have. Something that we're working on. Absolutely. Absolutely. You talk about how wanting to leave your job, how do you replace your income and finding your passion and stuff like that. Could you kind of elaborate on that a little bit more?
Yeah, so really I can just really share my own journey.
Okay, awesome.
And so I worked in banking out of college. I worked in banking for 15 years. in different capacities. I think when you and I were acquainted, I was a branch manager at that National City right there in the corner.
Yes, you were. Yes.
And so I was helping folks back in that day, and that
Yes.
was 98, 90, that was way back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm dating myself a little bit.
Yeah,
but,
both of us.
That's all right. And so, you know, being able to go through that experience and work with folks who, like I said, wasn't really in position at that time, and then transitioning that to what I'm doing today. It's really just information. Information is the key to everything. And so if we can, like I said, kind of change the paradigm of the way we do things, do business, the way we shop, the amount, the people that we do business with. Here's one thing we can change right now. We can all change the wealth in our communities by doing one thing. Shop with our own.
Yes, absolutely.
Period.
Oh, I do that. Yes,
Period.
Absolutely.
Shop with our
Absolutely.
own. All these communities around Northeast Ohio, every corner store is owned or ran by somebody that doesn't look like us. Stop walking in the damn door. Period. You stop doing that, our situation changes overnight.
Yes.
Why are there so many of those folks that run those stores and they all sell the same thing? Because we all keep buying it.
Yeah.
So education in our country is not taught. Financial literacy is not taught. We're taught to be spenders.
Yes.
Right? We are now, just now, in the last 5 to 7 years, trying to, you know, accumulate businesses and you know, entrepreneurship and things of that nature. We're still way behind the 8 ball. It's about one big black business for every about 147 of us.
Yes.
Wow.
I feel it. I feel it right here because I'm working to, you know, like I explained to you earlier, I'm working to, you know, jump over that hump. And, you know, like I'm trying to really Kathy Hughes this. I know that, you know, I know that there are bigger conglomerates out there like Sinclair and Viacom, which pretty much owns almost everything.
Every radio station,
but I know I could get in there. You know, there's room.
Absolutely.
There's room.
Always room.
Yes, there's always.
Yes. Look down the bread aisle. How many different brands
Tons
of bread
of different
you
brands of bread.
got?
Absolutely.
All of them are getting sold.
Absolutely.
So there's room for everybody, everywhere. In real estate, in radio, and in wealth building, there's room for everybody.
Yeah. Yes. Talk to us about at-risk teens and your work with them.
You know, the at-risk young man is really something that's really more near and dear to my heart. You know, growing up in the hood, let's just be frank. And,
what neighborhood, if you don't mind me asking?
I grew up on
Oh, okay.
I grew up in the John Adams neighborhood.
Okay.
Paul Revere, Nathan Hale.
I went to Paul Revere. 4th grade. Yeah, I went to Paul Revere.
From Cleveland Public School. I graduated in a different district, but you know, coming up in the hood, you know, there's not a lot of outlets, and so sports became my outlet.
Yeah,
football was what I was chasing. And so I continued to chase that all the way out of high school, and then in college I was chasing that ball. Thankfully, God had a different plan and put me in place where I needed to be, not where I thought I wanted to be.
Right.
And so I went to a business school, a private business college. I went to BW, and I got my degree there. And so growing up in these neighborhoods, I understand the mentality. That's the part we need to change first.
Yes.
That's the part we need to change first.
Let them know there's a way out.
There's a way out.
Was it hard not, you know, becoming a product of your environment? Like, how did you dodge that? Like,
I can't take credit. If I took credit for that, I'll be lying, and I'll be doing my family a disservice.
Okay. That's beautiful.
I had strong parents.
Yes.
At the end of the day, my parents divorced when I was a teenager, but having a strong mother and a strong parents and a strong family structure, they were like, "You're gonna go to college." When I was 12.
Right.
But when I got older, college became my fuel. It just wasn't for the books. Right. It was for the football.
Yeah.
Right.
But it shaped my thinking enough to say this is the trajectory. Like anything else, financial literacy, and I talk about that in my upcoming book. I got a new book that's coming out.
Okay.
It's called The Power of Generational Wealth. And in that book, I talk about practical things we can do at home with our children to start them on the understanding of how money works. The best thing we can do because if you have children, we all know our kids are selfish by nature, right? They want the LeBrons, the Jordans, the Xbox, the iPhone, all of that, right? iPhones, iPads, all of that.
Yeah.
My children, I know they're not exempt. They want that stuff too.
Yeah.
Right? And so what happens though, unfortunately, in most of our homes, in our communities, we're taking away something to buy our children that. Right? So what it's important to do, if your kid is age appropriate, I would say about 10 years old, start sitting that kid down at the dinner table when you're doing the bills every week. When you writing out the utility bill, when you writing out the gas bill, when you paying the rent, let them see what's coming in and what's coming out. And so if they want those Jordans for their birthday, that's $200. Let them see what mommy or daddy has to do to give up to get you those Jordans.
Yeah, because, you know, parents showing us the bills, that has been taboo in our culture.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
So remember I said paradigm shift?
This is the paradigm shift.
Yeah. So your new book basically is a whole crux to breaking generational curses.
If people read it, right? So when you're a speaker, when you're speaking at different seminars and you're doing different things, like I do all the time, really what you're trying to do is have impact. But it's only as impactful as the people that hear it can take action on it. The key is to take action. And so the book is great. All my seminars are great. All of my little events that we put on are pretty good. But somebody has to be able to take advantage of the information for it to be useful. Absolutely. Otherwise, I'm just talking to myself in the four walls around me.
You said little, Mr. Robinson. We
little
cannot
what?
use the word. You said in my little events. It is not little.
Well, I say that because they're not 1,000 people events, right? So in context, they are small events. However, I never minimize small beginnings, right? So I come from small beginnings and humble beginnings. And so I don't want to minimize that by saying, you know, hey, I grew up off that street over there in that neighborhood. I grew up off Union. It's okay. Period. You know, period. At the same time, my mentality is not Union.
That's right.
And that's what's important more than anything else.
That's the growth mindset.
It's the growth mindset. Absolutely.
I grew up off of Kinsman.
All right. I bought my first house off Kinsman.
Okay.
Hey, Angela. Thanks for checking in.
Well, congratulations.
We have an expensive conversation today. We need you to join us, Miss Angela.
I lived all over Cleveland, so.
Right.
From East Cleveland to Maple Heights to down away.
There's nothing wrong with that. What that did is gave you perspective on the neighborhoods. So you should be better informed on those neighborhoods than the average bear, right? So now we need to take that information that you've had your whole life that you wasn't doing nothing with and act on it. That's how we change our financial futures, y'all.
Yes.
Mr. James, thanks for checking in.
I like this conversation because when, you know, you elaborated about, you know, the showing your children, you know, your bills. I don't know, because I never was taught this. And I tell this to my children all the time. Like, I wish I had me as a mother growing up or a father growing up. Because, like, when I have these conversations with them, you know, it sounds like to them, it probably look like I'm bragging, but, you know, I work hard for my things and things aren't cheap, you know? So you gotta, you know, I just be wanting them to understand that so they could know how to not make the mistakes that I've made.
They won't.
You know, and it's like, how could you elaborate? I need to get your book. When does that book come out?
The book is not out yet. It will be out soon. But again, I'm giving you the best access. You can tap in with me. You don't need the book. Tap in with me. I got all the information for you. So listen, what you asked about was the kids, right? And that's the next generation for us. That's where our future leaders are coming from, right?
Yes.
So I've got a daughter that's 18 and trying to learn some of these life lessons for the first time. But she's been coming to my seminars for 2 or 3 years now.
Wow.
Mentally checked out.
Wow.
That's what kids do.
Yeah,
it's not a degradation on her. That's what kids do. But what you're trying to do is stay in their brain. It'll come back to them. It'll come back, right? And so when you're, you know, at the kitchen table having conversations with your kids about finances, bills, things of that nature. Let them see what you have coming in, what you have going out, and what it really is just a lesson. More, just accounts receivable, accounts payable. Hey, Mahogany, thanks for checking in.
I'm so glad you said that. And
Yes, I've needed this.
because I'm guilty of that.
We all are guilty of that. Really, when you get that paycheck, bring the whole paycheck with the stub. Let them sit down
what
and
they
see
take out of
what
it.
you make an hour, what you make a week, what's your salary, and then let them see the taxes. Who is FICA? Right. Who the hell is that? Right. So our kids, the first time they're introduced to that is when they get their job. Yes. We failed them. We already failed. Right? So let's start at the kitchen table when they're 10 years old, 11, 12 years old. They understand. Yes. They get it because they ask you for stuff. Yes. Right? So it definitely teaches them the importance of spending. And here's another thing. Here's another little nugget. I said we're going to have an expensive conversation. If you got kids under 18, go to your local bank where you bank and get them what's called a UGMA or a custodial account, custodial checking or custodial checking or savings account. Okay. This is a bank account that is in their name.
Yes, and they can use it when they're 21 or something like that.
They get it at 18. They get full advantage of it at 18. But here's what what it's called, UGM, because I
was right too.
I was a little I've had my account since your parents did well. Definitely my mom. It's called the common term is custodial account. Okay. But the banker term is UGMA. UGMA, okay. Mahogany said they can't touch it. Yes, they can touch it if you allow them. Here's the kicker, though, guys. What you really are looking to do is train their habits. When they get birthday money, when they get Christmas money, stop letting them spend it all. Yeah. Take half of it right now. Yeah. Put it in the bank. Then when they're a little older, now they have something to start with. You know what I do for my daughter? She has a Go Henry card. Are you? Go Henry? Yeah. I'm not familiar with that. So Go Henry allows me to give her allowance, put her allowance on that card or spending money. It also allows me to set limits. Sure. Is it like a prepaid card or something? Yes. Prepaid? That's a little different. You can use those too. But it's prepaid. It's not like a savings or checking account. So the custodial account is that type of account that will allow you to put money in. It's not about spending limits, but they don't have a debit card associated with it. Yeah. It's just an ATM card, and that's it. The purpose of it is to save. And so that is one of the things that we can do with our children very early to help start that journey, help start that mindset shift for them. Let me. I can show you a 18 one. Is right. Thank you.
Is there any interest added
on there? She has a piggy bank. She's allowed to save. So every week that I pay her, they take out like 3% of the money that I give her, and they put it into a savings for future spending. Okay. So yeah, you can also do those same types of things So let's say you give her $50. I don't know, a week. Let's just say $50 a week. You could set 25 of that to go to the savings account automatically. 3% is not enough. Okay. It's not enough. Okay. When you get your paycheck, for most folks who have a regular job, if you get your paycheck, most companies match your 401k up to 6% or 5 or 6%. So just think how little that is, right? So 3% is not enough. Okay. You're not even keeping track with inflation at 3%.
Okay. I forgot the question I was getting ready to. Oh, with the account for the what's the UGOH ABC?
UGMA.
Just call it a custodial account. Don't get confused.
The custodial account.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, is there interest involved? Like, do they?
Minor. Just think about interest on your own savings account. You ain't getting paid much. 1%, if that. So it's not about the savings interest that you get. It's about the habits that you're building.
Okay, so I like that. So that they could use that to get their first car,
Absolutely.
Their first house, or a down
college expenses, all of those things.
Yeah.
Stop putting our kids out at 18. That's another financial setback.
Say that again. I don't think they're ready, but when they think they grown, there's the dough. You got a front door and a back door. You could choose. But I told my children, I don't think no child by law you're considered grown, but mentally you're not ready. I moved out a month after I graduated. And I ended up moving back home twice. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I didn't, as a female, they say women, mature faster, but I didn't really settle down and get my things together till I was like 25.
That's about right. So here's the thing. Just think about that. For yourself in your own life, 25 was your age.
Mm-hmm.
Think about the young man who matures at a slower rate than women, right? Stop putting these folks out at 18 with no credit, no savings account,
no financial literacy.
Yes. No really skills. Even if they graduate from high school, they have zero skills.
Right.
They have zero skills after they graduate from high school. So we're putting our kids out, and we are the only demographic that does that.
Yeah,
Stop that.
Where do you think that comes from?
Slave mentality.
Okay, absolutely.
Period.
Absolutely.
Period. Very simple.
Yes.
Dr. Claude Anderson talks about that quite a bit. So listen, we listen. All of the things that we're talking about are things that in our community are commonplace, right? Until we make a change to start to change some of these dynamics, it's not going to change. Yes, absolutely. Right? So it's all on us. We're the adults. If we've got kids, it's up to us to put them in position so that they have the financial literacy necessary to navigate this world. It's a world dominated by finances. If they don't have finances, they're in trouble, right? So we're putting our kids really into the death spiral because they don't have the information.
Yes.
And if we don't have it, why not? We all got smartphones on our hip, but we stupid. Come on now. Come on.
Hello.
Let's use that smartphone for something other than
my
Facebook
smartphone.
and Twitter and TikTok videos. Let's use that cell phone, that smartphone for being smart. Let's use it for something that can benefit our financial lives.
Yes, residual income that couldn't come out of this. Yeah.
Residual income, streams of revenue, call it what you want. At the end of the day, we all need to have additional streams of income outside of our employer.
Yes.
One other thing before I lose track of my thoughts here. If you don't have insurance outside of your primary employer, you're doing yourself and your family a disservice.
Okay.
Everyone needs life insurance outside of your primary employer. Listen, nobody stays at jobs 20 and 30 years anymore, right? We all know that. And so when you leave that job, your life insurance, which is called group term, goes with it. So not only are you not insured until you get to your next destination, sometimes you got to wait 90 days before your benefits kick in and things like that. What if you die in that 90 days? Yeah. You're not covered. And you're older. So really make it a point to talk to your local insurance agent.
Go to your bank, because I have...
Don't go to your bank.
No? I have life insurance with my bank.
No. I was a banker and an insurance agent.
Okay.
Trust me. Do not go to your bank.
Okay.
Go to your insurance agent.
Okay.
State Farm, whoever. Go to those particular agents who have the services that you need. The banks are not in the business of writing insurance. They will, but they're not going to do you the best service. They're going to give
you a hard time. Okay.
It's not giving you a hard time. They're just not going to do the best service for you.
Okay.
You need to go to an agent for that. You want to go get a loan? Go to your bank.
Okay.
You want insurance? Go to your insurance agent. Or get life insurance outside of your primary employer. That's the first step to transferring wealth. Listen, we are the only ones that do not have these conversations in our families. When grandma and auntie pass away, and we all their kids didn't do nothing, her kids didn't do nothing, so with the family trying to chip in a couple dollars.
Yes. Better set me to no GoFundMe.
GoFundMe is not life insurance. Fresh fries is not life insurance.
Yes.
Come on, y'all. We can do better than that.
That's what I love.
Everybody turn up on the weekends with their bottles and their extracurricular activities. That's how much your life insurance costs. About $50 to $75 a month. Let's stop, y'all. Let's just really start making some different choices.
Thank you.
Yeah, I was really fortunate. Like my grandparents passed on, we haven't had to do a thing. Even with my mom and dad, we're not gonna have to do a thing.
Let me share something with you. Do you know Jewish folks insure their parents? Yes, that's the culture.
Really?
Why? Because their parents are. So you and I are in our middle ages,
yes.
right? If you insure when you insure your parents,
Mm-hmm.
what happens is you more than likely they're going to pass on before you,
Mm-hmm.
right? So your family needs that influx of cash while you're young and vibrant to pay for the kids' education, to pay off the house, and things of that nature. So if we all got brothers and sisters who don't want to do right, so what? Go get the insurance on mama anyway.
Okay.
Go get it anyway. We know they're not going to do right.
Yes.
They're not going to do right. We know they're not. They're not going to pay it. They're not going to check on mom when they're supposed to. None of that. So what? Go get it anyway.
Okay.
You need that coverage in your that infusion of cash in your family while you're young and can use it. When you're 60, it ain't going to help you, right?
Right.
Insure your parents so that money comes.
Okay.
I told you we was having an extensive conversation today, y'all.
I am going to
Marie, so-called life, thanks for checking in. Baby doll, thanks for checking in. So yeah, really just being able to take some of the basics, just the basics.
Okay.
Have these conversations with our folks and be able to make some changes in our financial futures. That's what it's about, y'all.
Well, I'm definitely ready to make those changes.
Now I'm gonna hold you to that now, because here's where you show me you ready. Not only just getting a one-on-one, right? Not only just getting your credit situated, not only getting your insurance, but writing a check. You ain't ready till you writing a check to somebody. It don't have to be me, but you got to go pay somebody for something, for that information. If you're not doing that, you're not ready.
My 37 years of ties and author.
That was the guy. So hopefully he covered you over this 37 years.
I'm giving back to you guys.
The pastor ain't giving it back. What I'm gonna give you is gonna keep on giving back to you. And we ain't calling it tithes or
the
offering.
Gift that keeps on giving.
but you get a return on that, and it's return on information, not return on assets or return on all of that. It's return on information. So that's what we're gonna help you do.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And speaking of change,
Yes, ma'am.
I usually start off my the show with a prayer, and this prayer I want to say today is about managing change.
Okay.
And it's, Father, even though I try to create plans for my life, they somehow get shaken up and turned around by you. Nevertheless, I trust you completely as you execute your great will for me. Even though I may be disappointed when you protect me from the things I think are best for me, I won't turn from you. Amen. I wanted to make sure I get that, because it touched a lot of the topics that both you and Miss Marie were talking about. So I said, this is just in sync. I had to read it. I had to.
So listen, if it's in sync, I want to share this information with you again and your listeners. Make sure they check out the website, TONE.com. Check out the website. There's a bunch of information there. There's some recent media that we recently did for a TV appearance. That's on the What's Happening page. On the Let's Talk page is where you can schedule your interview. And then there's another page where you can look at the different real estate coaching programs that we have that you can sign up for that will allow you to work with me one-on-one and really try and hone in your situation and start to help you acquire some investment assets.
Okay. And can you tell, the listeners on the show where to find you at?
So the website is ToneRobinson.com. Like I mentioned, you can also find me on the social platforms on Instagram and Facebook at Tone Robinson Consulting. So that's available. And then our website is primarily the way that you can tap into us. And there's a bunch of different avenues and things you can do on the site there. And so absolutely check in with us on either social media on Instagram or on the website at ToneRobinson.com. And our books are for sale on Amazon and also on the website. Listen, it's all about ownership. Go to the website. We don't need to get Amazon to cut. Go to the website. Go to ToneRobinson.com.
Ooh, I love that.
It's $18.95.
You know what I want to speak to really quick before we get out of here? Of course, you talked about entrepreneurship and leaving your job, you know, to live your dream.
Sure.
And I just wanted to speak on that because a lot of people want to get involved in stuff that they might not know about or,
Sure.
you know, have questions about. And at one point in time, I owned a property preservation company.
I did too.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know,
10 years.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, me too. About that long. And you know, my thing was when I did it I came into that from being a loan officer. Initially, people didn't want to give me the information. Well, like who cleans up the houses? Who does this, that, and the other? So you know what I did? I Googled.
So, you know, we live in a world where people want as much information as we can for free, right? Because we're so used to having it on our smartphones. Real business information ain't never going to be given for free, ever.
Unfortunately.
Like they say.
Is that an our culture thing?
No.
Okay.
The game is to be sold.
Not told.
Not told.
So think about that for a minute. You know?
Okay.
And so for all of my budding entrepreneurs out there who are looking to go into entrepreneurship, who are looking to start their own thing, who are looking to do something different with their lives.
And are not sure.
And are not sure, right? The first thing I would do is ask yourself, what's your why? Your why has to be bigger than you. And so whether that's your children, whether that's your family, whether that's your own life and wanting to live your life in a different lifestyle, travel maybe, things of that nature. It starts with you, right? And so it starts with each one of us to be able to make some changes and tap in. You know, the number one thing I got a best friend of mine, and I hope he's listening, but I know he's not. He's one of my best friends. I've known him for about 30 years. And he recently came to me and said, hey, you know, I really want to try and get my business going. I want to make my next move, my best move. I'm just not really sure where to start it. And he came to me and said, you know, I really want your help. And you know what I told him? I said, listen, in order for me to help you, I'm going to have to charge you. You know why? Because if I don't, you're not going to take advantage of it.
Yes.
It's been about 8 months. He hasn't taken advantage of it because I didn't charge him. Right? That's our mentality of our folks. That's the mentality of our folks.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Right? So you got to pay for it.
Definitely.
But here's the deal. You asked about the entrepreneurship and making that change. Here's the number one thing I would suggest for entrepreneurs looking to make that transition from their regular job to entrepreneurship. Do it while you're working. Do it while you're working.
Yes.
You need that consistent income coming in to be able to fund your future dreams.
Yes.
And so whether you take $50, $100 per pay and put that towards your dream, that's completely okay. It's what you're really looking for are small wins. Small wins, that new customer, that new account, that new contract, that new relationship. Those are the things that kind of get your momentum started as a business owner. It takes those small wins to be able to have some momentum.
Definitely.
Before you're ready to just kick them to the curb. Definitely. Right? So sometimes you don't have a choice. You get let go or downsized or fired. You ain't got a choice, right? One thing I will say, Damon John, who's from, I guess people know him from Shark Tank.
Yes.
He has a book called The Power of Broke. He says he learned more from being broke than he ever learned from anybody anywhere else. You know why? Because when you broke, your back is against the wall.
Yes, absolutely.
You ain't got no choice, right? So I agree with that. And so sometimes we need our backs against the wall. If you're backing against the wall right now, what is? You got COVID going on.
Right.
All of our nurses are hurting.
Right.
They trying to get away from bedside. Thanks for checking in. You know, the nurses are trying to get away from bedside because they love helping people, but they hate the bureaucracy and the administration and the schedules and hours and things like that. You know, a lot of our lower end workers in retail are hurting They're not getting the 40 hours because the restaurants aren't staying open as long. They're not full to capacity, things of that nature. Our backs are already against the wall.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So your back is against the wall. You got to come out fighting. So the best way to fight is to have a game plan. So that's what we try and do for our folks, to give them a game plan for their financial future and making a different decision. So that's what we do.
Super dope. Mr. Robinson, thank you so much for gracing our studios once again. Oh, we got to get you back here with that new book.
Oh, don't worry.
And definitely, by the time your new book come out, I will be in person with you. I have to meet with you in person.
We gonna do that beforehand. Listen, the energy. Listen, I'm taking your energy right now. Your energy is waning. You don't need to wait for that book to come out. You need to tap in ASAP.
Yeah.
Tap in ASAP. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop the presses.
Say less.
Tap in immediately. I'm giving you free access. Come on now. I don't have free conversations no more.
He did say the game was to be sold and not told.
Sold and not told.
Yes.
So expensive conversations are expensive, right? So I'm making it affordable for my people because that's where my heart is. My clients got to pay still.
Isn't that a sin in our community or in our culture too? Overpricing when we do start businesses, because I do see a lot of that.
No.
Really?
No.
So should we be like in?
I got two things to say about that.
Okay.
Number one, when we go into our Black businesses that we want to do patronize, stop expecting that Black business owner to treat you the same as the white business owner.
Okay.
The white business owner got 400 years of experience.
Yes, absolutely.
The Black man just starting. So stop with the service. Oh, they don't do good service. They don't help them.
Yeah.
Help him.
I get that part.
Help him.
I get that part. I'm
Number
just
one.
saying that.
Number two, are the prices over expensive? No. Here's why. When you go to Gucci and Versace, you don't question their prices. You got a BMW, you don't question their prices. I got a Mercedes, I didn't question the price. Right? So here's the thing. Stop questioning the price. The price is the price. When it's luxury and you want it, you pay for it.
Yes.
Go get it from that Black business owner too. Here's why. His daughter is going to dance school. His son is playing basketball. That's what that extra money is going for. Stop thinking and treating the Black business owner like the white business owner. It's maybe a little more expensive. Pay it anyway. The service wasn't that great. Go back and talk to him. Send them an email. Don't blast them on social media. This
totally none of that. None of that. Never.
Go talk to that business owner individually and understand their situation. Maybe they have employee challenges. I saw Sam Silk about a year and a half ago get online and talk about how the service he refunded somebody's money because the order wasn't right, but they just wanted to keep going ham on that person.
Not happy with it.
He's a business owner. He don't run the entire business himself, right? So you have to rely on others, and sometimes others just aren't tapped in the way you are. But you still need to give that business owner a break because he's still working for his community and her community.
And it's like respect us.
If it costs too much, so what? Pay it anyway.
Okay. I'm taking that in. I'm going to work on that.
You know, one need to work on it a little bit.
Because I asked those questions because like my nails prior to I sports. So I have to pop out of them sometimes. I love to get my nails done.
Sure.
I go to some sisters where their prices are in competition with the Asian community, which of course I don't visit anymore because it's been a struggle, getting away from them because, they're like, definitely, and I might spend 3 hours with a sister versus, the 1 hour, at the Asian shop.
Talk to that sister about scheduling. Maybe she needs part-time help.
I wish someone would listen.
Maybe she needs some help. Maybe
what about when you talk to them with the most sincerest of intentions and they get an attitude? I'm talking about
They need help, right? So maybe sometimes the best thing you can do is not patronize them.
I hate that.
Let's be clear. I mean, if none of us are perfect, right? My business has its challenges like every other business.
Absolutely.
Say that all the time. Y'all listen.
That challenge is a people issue.
Why aren't you in school?
Sometimes it's a time issue, time management issue.
Mhm.
But the one thing I'm going to make it a point to do is listen to my clients, because they're going to help make me better. Them complaining makes me better. That's the first thing I learned in customer service as a banker.
Absolutely.
People complaining makes you better. So, because the people that don't complain, they write letters.
Right.
And you don't want that.
You don't want that. Yeah.
So the people complaining are your opportunities to get better. So if your listeners are listening to this and you're a business owner and somebody walks into your business, whether it's a restaurant, nail shop, whatever it is, barber shop, and they're complaining, whether the haircut wasn't right or you overcharged me or my debit card ran through twice, whatever it is, if they get an attitude, something's wrong with their process and it needs to be fixed. And if you go in with true sincerity, and it's not reciprocated, then just take your dollars elsewhere. We don't do that to the white folks, but because everybody's still going to McDonald's and they food terrible as hell.
I hate McDonald's.
But my point is, they line still 50. It's 1 o'clock. Go outside to the closest McDonald's.
Around,
exactly. But the food quality is terrible.
Yes, it is.
Right. So, and it's not a knock on McDonald's. They got a great business model because they're not really the business of hamburgers.
Yes.
They're in the business of real estate.
Right.
So, but their lines stay full, and the food is cold, and it tastes bad, and it's not real food. How long can you keep going on? But their lines are still full, right? So what they mastered was something that our businesses need to master. Just follow the playbook. Mine is called the Offensive Playbook because I'm giving you the tools to put you on offense, right? But these other businesses, these other communities, follow what these local these convenience stores on the corners, follow what they're doing.
Yeah,
it ain't rocket science, right? But what they do, hire their own and shop with their own.
And that's what we have to do.
That's what we got to do.
And where do these people live? Because do they got a secret community? I'm just now finding where the Filipino community at.
So there are different pockets. But what you normally see, the guy that's got a convenience store on your corner, he may have one on the other side of the town too.
Yep.
That his cousin or his brother runs, but they live out in Gates Mills.
That's right.
And they live out in Hudson.
Yes.
Because they want their kids to go to that school.
That's right.
They don't want their kids to go to Cleveland Public School.
No way.
So, but again, they also don't invest in your community.
No, they don't.
They don't do back to school drives. They ain't giving out book bags.
Nope. And I've asked, so that's another part.
Yeah, they're not doing that. They're not doing that. So, but we still support their businesses. So, if you want to ask why we are in the condition that we're in as a community, it's the habits, spending habits. It starts there.
Yeah, so word of information. If you have a melanated, a black store, so-called black store in your neighborhood, go to that black store, work with them. I know they might not have a lot of stuff,
but ask them what they need. Ask them what, are you able to get this?
I tip them. I tip them. I leave the change. I tip them when I can. I definitely. Like the Harvard Deli hasn't seen me since the Harvard Convenient has come up in that whole little section because I'm still in Cleveland. That's another story. Yeah, I don't want to stay in Cleveland. I want to move out, but I stay in Cleveland, so I'm in the Lee Harvard area. Up the street in that area is now a Black-owned convenience store called Harvard Convenient, and across the street is what used to be Burt's. I don't know when they're going to open again.
Is that right there where the Jamaican spot is at?
No, it's next to a hair salon, and it's right across the street from Epic Lounge.
Oh, okay.
And then the hair salon, at the corner is Max. So that's like a whole little, building renaissance, area. So I service those stores. I haven't bought, first of all, growing up, I wasn't blessed with being able to buy name brand stuff and stuff like that. We kind of struggle. Yeah, I made some of my clothes, for school and stuff like that. Now I'm not interested. I don't buy name brand. You won't see me with Gucci, Prada, Louis Vuitton, or none of that stuff. First, I'm no white man's walking building. And second of all, I furnish my own. Like their brothers and sisters right in our own neighborhood on Kinsman, on Harvard. They have these and on the West Side. Because I come to the West Side a lot. They have these mom and pop stores that have a lot of cool stuff over in Warrensville Heights, right on Emory, and what's that Green Road? There's a sister over there that makes beautiful clothes, for all sizes. So that's me. That's the pocket that I'm in, and please.
I used to be in for all of that, Marie.
Thanks for checking in.
But 5 kids. I said I can't do this no more.
Well, name brand is one of those things that whether it's clothes or cars or whatever the case may be, we all feel like it's a status symbol. Essentially, is what it is, right? When you got the money, you feel like I can do what I want with my money, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. There isn't, because I'm the last person to tell somebody how to spend their money.
Yes.
At the same time, if you have affluence where you can afford Gucci, Fendi, Prada, Balenciaga, all those different name brands, we're not going to give them too much pub here. But if you can afford that, what have you done in your community first?
Absolutely. When there's a splash formula line.
What kind of stores are you opening up in your own community to help your own people?
Yes, when there's a Splash Formula 9, he makes wonderful clothing. Marshall, she's a wonderful, clothes designer, and just the whole tailor thing all together. Like my thing is like if we
Marie, you make clothes
from them. And I got tons, baby. You don't even understand. Like I have so much stuff in my house. I have 2 closets and a whole bunch of bins that include shoes and hair. But and I buy for my people. But like if I feel like we don't uplift our people and purchase from them, how are they going to get to that point?
That's it. And so you asked earlier if they cost a little more and things like that. That's why you still shop with your own first, because that's going to trickle down and stay in the community longer than if you took that money somewhere else. I think the thing that we got to understand, y'all, more than anything else, is that the system and the dominant society live off their money and our money too. Right? We don't even live off our own money. We only get 2% of our own money that we keep in our pockets. The other 98% goes out within 8 hours. There's all different types of studies for that, but shopping with your own is the key, right? And it starts with a little bit of financial literacy at home. It starts by helping the kids. And guess what? Even if you got bad credit, but you sitting there going over that stuff with your kids, you're going to learn something too.
Absolutely.
The best teachers are also the best learners. So if you can, start there, make it a habit. Every 2 weeks, spend 10 minutes, 5 minutes with the kids, showing them the bills. It don't take long. It don't have to be a big production. They're not going to listen that long anyway. Right? They want to get back to their day. But the important thing is just starting some habits with them early. Another thing you can do, a lot of people, including myself as a former agent, is not aware of, insure the life of your children. Most people are familiar with like the Gerber.
Yes. Global.
Yeah. That's one avenue, but they're robbing you too, by the way. You can get a whole life policy on your children for, let's say, $25,000. If they're under 10, it'll be about $10 a month.
Wow.
Dirt cheap. And you're insuring their whole life. So, and you can pay it up in a short period of time or whatever. But there's all different types of avenues. This is why I say you need to talk to your insurance agent and not your banker. Your banker will not have all that information. Talk to the insurance agent. If you need a referral, I got one for you. But go to your agent. Your agent that you have your home insurance, your car insurance, all that stuff with. You get better rates when you have what they call multiple lines of insurance.
Right.
So if you have a car and a home, or a car and a rental insurance policy, or a car and a life insurance policy, you're going to get better rates. And so ensuring your own life and the life of your children is so important.
Thank you, Mr. Robinson.
Ladies, thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. I will be in touch with you soon. As you can see, I'm already on your live commenting, so
I see you. I appreciate that. Thanks for checking in. Thank you for having me, guys. I certainly appreciate the opportunity. One of the things that I like to do to really strengthen our relationship here, if possible, is to be a regular contributor here, to offer your listeners some of that financial literacy. Again, this is my passion. This is my heart, really coming to the community. Your listeners is my community. They're not my clients, at least not yet.
Not yet.
Right. But that's who I want to be clients, because we are the ones that really need the help. And so I really just want to extend that olive branch to you as a business owner. so that we can partner with our resources.
Absolutely.
There's no better way to do it than putting our money where our mouth is. And so I want to do that for you guys. And hopefully that'll expand both of our platforms and bring some folks into the light as far as their financial literacy. At the end of the day, that's what we're looking to do.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
So I look forward to working with you guys. I appreciate the
it's my
opportunity to be on your
birthday.
platform. It's your birthday. It's Christmas early, baby. I told you. Listen,
That's what I feel like. I felt like I just got to open the big, expensive gift. Like, I feel all happy over here. I can't stop smiling. Look at me.
Well, listen, we need you to smile, but we also need your listeners to smile. And so, if I can, I want to be able to have you guys not only tap in with me on the regular Let's Talk to get the consultation, but also to be part of our event that we're doing in March. You guys would be able to, whether it's broadcast or not, doesn't matter. We're going to have a film crew. But to be able to have you guys be a part of it, to see it firsthand, I think will give a lot of your listeners, even you guys, an opportunity to see what we do firsthand. There's nothing better than to see it firsthand.
I would love to. Absolutely.
I would, yeah.
Absolutely.
So that'll be in March. It'll be something, like I said, it'll be the 19th. We're still working out the details as far as hotels and all that kind of stuff, because we will have some folks coming from out of town.
Okay.
But I think this event is going to be a rock star event, and it's really going to kind of give people that are on the fence about real estate, give them some of that firsthand, tangible knowledge, and be able to get it. Come on, it's time to jump off the porch, y'all. Come on, what you going to do? Jump off the porch.
I got a stoop. I ain't got no front porch.
Well,
I just
the jump off the porch is the good reference for getting in the game.
You gotta say that.
Come on now. We got to talk to everybody. We got to speak everybody's language. Time to jump off the porch. ToneRobinson.com. Check in.
That's right. Eileen, go ahead and check out for us.
Well, Mr. Wealth Builder, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for coming in. And, I look forward to your book. I look forward to meeting you before the 19th of March. And you don't be a stranger. Thank you for being a guest on the Big League Energy Radio Talk Show. And thank you, Miss Marie, for the platform and, welcoming us. I appreciate it. And that is the end of remember to remind yourself this daily: I am good enough, I am capable, I am lovable, I am safe, and I am worthy. That is the end of the Big League Energy Radio Talk Show. Ending it with Mr. Tone Robertson. Make sure y'all check him out. And also my homegirl, Decisive, aka Marie. And I will see y'all next Wednesday, same time, 11 a to 1 p. And I love y'all. Mean it. Bye.
All right. We'd like to thank you for tuning in to the Big League Energy Radio Show here on the station where we don't bring the static, but we sure enough bring the noise on staticradio.net. Make sure you guys check us out on social media where we absolutely love to hear from you on facebook.com/unstaticradio LLC. I'm sorry, hold on 1 second. I'm messing it up. Sorry, viewers. I forgot. It slipped my mind just like that. My apologies. But make sure you check us out on social media where we absolutely love to hear from you on facebook.com/NoStaticRadio LLC, on Twitter at NoStatic_radio, on Instagram at TheReal_NoStatic Radio, and on YouTube at No Static Radio. Also, if you guys would like to listen to replays of this show and others on NoStaticRadio.net, please make sure you check us out on Mixler.com or Mixcloud.com. Just type in No Static Radio in the toolbar for replays of this show and others, and for continuous streaming. That means no rebuffering or refreshing the page. Just sit back, relax, and wait for your next show to pop up. Check us out on TuneIn.com or LiveOnlineRadio.net for continuous streaming of this show and all others on this platform, and for all things No Static Radio, including up-and-coming events, merchandise, and an in-depth look at all our great great show hosts here. Please check out our website at www.nostaticradio.net. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Big League Energy Radio Show. And coming up next at 2 p.m. to 4 p.m., we have a replay of Loop It Straight Up with your host, Cece, because she's out ill right now. So we're going to send out prayers to her. But we got a replay. Loop It Straight Up show, followed by the house party this evening from 6 to 8 p.m. But in the meantime, in the between time, you know what it is. We've got more music for your listening pleasure here on your Voice of the Revolution, NoStaticRadio.net, powered by Google, sponsored by Lamont Avenue Wines and the Cleveland Rugby League. Be safe, be well, you guys stay warm, enjoy the beautiful weather out today, and tune back in at 2 p.m.